Frame by frame animation is useful when you wish to draw your artwork by hand and then scan in the individual frames. Think of it as the traditional 2D drawing style of the Walt Disney animators, where for every frame there's a different picture. Now this could be extremely time consuming and it could take a lot of system resources to accomplish. So I'm just going to show you very quickly what that looks like. Now, as you see here, I have a default layer and I have my frame here. What I'm going to do is, before I get started, I'm going to just turn on my rulers and then I'm going to pull out a couple of guides because I want to make sure that the images are aligned. Now what I'm going to do is go to my library here, and if you don't see your library, you can always go to your window menu and find your library right there. What I'm going to do is drag out the first image here, which is a clip art of a businessman walking and checking his watch. Now what I'm going to do is I need to add a new frame. So I'm going to go to frame 2. I'm going to go to my insert menu, timeline, blank keyframe. Now I don't want to add a keyframe because if I add a keyframe, what happens is this. It will keep this image and place it within the second frame. So we don't want that. So I'm going to undo that. And I'm going to just keep going until I get rid of this frame here. Or I can just press on my keyboard Shift F5. So that's the shortcut for getting rid of a frame. You just hold down Shift F5. Now what I'm going to do is go to frame 2 and I'm going to insert a blank keyframe. This will give me a frame that I could place something into without copying the image that was before it. Now I can drag out my second instance here of the businessman, and I'm going to drag this guy out and just put him in the same approximate spot as the first guy. And I'm going to repeat this. I'm going to go to my third frame here. I'm going to insert a new blank keyframe, and I will drag out the third instance of this gentleman as he's doing his little walk through the airport. Now when I scrub the timeline, look what happens. He's walking. So that is an example of what frame by frame animation would entail. Now, if you want to go all out and do traditional animation, keep in mind that you would need 24 different drawings per second. Now, you can go the Hanna-Barbera route and definitely still have animation, but maybe 12 frames per second. Like Scooby-Doo, if you watch the animations on that, it's not as exactly as fluid as a Walt Disney cartoon, but the animation is still intact, so you can do that as well. So this is an example of frame by frame animation.